So we've all been sitting and waiting for the release of the brand new Las Vegas A's stadium renderings. Originally, the thought is they would come out around Thanksgiving. It got pushed back a few weeks to early December, but there's been a massive delay now and they're still not out. We actually do, it looks like, have some clarity in terms of the timeline and when these will be released, possibly not until early March. Deadline passes for A's stadium renderings. Financing plans for the Las Vegas move remains in question with the expected $380 million in public funding. The Oakland A's proposed relocation to Vegas remains in a holding pattern even after the bid received unanimous approval from MLB owners. That's another interesting thing about this whole A's renderings delay situation. It got complete approval from MLB owners. So it's never been an issue of that. It's always been, where are these renderings? What's going on with the financial situation? How is it only going to fit on 9 acres? As John Shea of the San Francisco Chronicle points out, Fisher and the A's have yet to release stadium plans, secure the very substantial amount of public funding, or even find a place to play games in 2025 after their lease in the Coliseum expires. Shea also reports that the yet-to-be-named rendering ballpark may be taking a turn for more of a modest type theme. You can see this is the big news. Renderings of the A's future home in Vegas haven't been made public, but it has been learned the roof will be fixed, not retractable, and the design will include a massive window beyond the outfield to provide views. Think of Allegiant Stadium. Now, there was a thing that came out about 4 or 5 months ago that they were mirroring this stadium off of Allegiant Stadium, which will be hosting the Super Bowl this year. Obviously, Allegiant, it is the Death Star. It's kind of it's a football stadium, but in terms of that window that's behind one of the end zones, I think they're going to go for something like that. I'm not exactly sure where that window will be placed. They could do it throughout the entire outfield, or they could do it spanning it from left field down the line to center field and then keep right field kind of with more seats and built up a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be doing in terms of that, but what I would expect, this is just speculation, the fixed roof will definitely save them significant money, especially if their budget is $1.5 billion. If you go retractable, you're cutting it close, especially in Vegas with how much it costs to build there. And I think there will be slits in the fixed roof that will allow for natural light. I don't think they'll go full translucent roof. Translucent roofs don't look very good, in my opinion, on MLB stadiums. If you want to kind of get a gauge for how they would look, if you look at the Orlando Dreamers, the potential expansion MLB team, you can get a look at how a translucent roof would look on an MLB stadium. I think it looks a lot better on NFL stadiums, but who knows? Maybe they're going to try and sell this as the first translucent roof MLB stadium where the roof is closed, you can't open it, just like SoFi, just like Allegiant, but the roof is going to allow for natural light to come in throughout, and it's going to really brighten up the environment. Obviously, this day and age in 2024, you're building a stadium with a fixed roof, there's going to be a massive emphasis on natural light. That's why they're talking about a huge window that opens, possibly going throughout the entire outfield. And again, this will mitigate the cost problem of it being $1.5 billion. I would also expect some type of circular stadium. That's really the only way you can fit on 9 acres. But look at this. Take a look at the bottom of this. The renderings might not be released until the A's play their spring training series in Las Vegas against the Brewers on March 8th. So maybe it's a marketing thing. They're going to go to Vegas, play a spring training game, and announce it then. Wow, at least we finally have a potential date. Everyone's been waiting. You might as well just wait until 2025 to release these things at this point. But no, it seemed like it was going to be 4 or 5. Really, it's almost like they've delayed it 4 or 5 months to March. But either way, at least, it does kind of make sense. They're going to Vegas to play a spring training game. They want to have the marketing, and it looks like that's when the renderings finally will be released. Nothing is confirmed. Maybe they'll release them next week for all we know, but at least I would say we can table this discussion and not really be left in the dark on when these renderings are coming out. At least that's what we would surmise based off of these rumors going around. Initially, the A's floated plans for a retractable roof. Having some kind of roof is absolutely critical and essential, given the sizzling summer temperatures in Vegas, but retractable roofs are very expensive. Going with a fixed roof, and it makes sense to go with a fixed roof. The thing would be closed 95% of the time. This is like a Lone Depot Park situation with the Miami Marlins. It's just going to be closed so much because it's 82 degrees, it's too hot, we have to keep it room temperature, and you're going to be sacrificing so much of the interior design and the details of the ballpark because you're going to be up against a budget of $1.5 billion. Now you can kind of have more little bells and whistles on the interior because you're going to have more money to invest because you're not going to have to pay for that retractable roof. But there probably will also have to be some money that gets paid for some type of translucent roof or like little slits into the top to where they will allow for natural light to come in. Again, there's going to be a heavy emphasis of natural light onto this ballpark. And then we also do have an update in terms of where they're potentially playing. Sacramento being considered as a temporary home for the A's. Maybe Sacramento is the perfect kind of compromise. We've heard maybe the A's will play at the minor league ballpark in Nevada. There's issues in terms of how hot it gets. They can really only play night games because, the stadium is not a dome and it gets so hot in that area. Maybe Sacramento could be the happy medium for them, although there are huge logistic problems with that. And there's also the idea you can see sharing Oracle Park. I've thought maybe they might do some type of split where half of their home games are at Oracle Park and half of their own home games are at a minor league park, whether it's in Nevada or Sacramento, I don't know. I don't think they would straight up do all of their home games at Oracle Park for 3 years. That seems like a horrible idea. You're basically playing at a road stadium as your home park. You're not going to get much in terms of a crowd. And then the whole other thing is, well, why don't they just stay at the Coliseum, extend their lease by 3 years? That seems like the most logical option, which technically it is. The issue with that is they're a lame duck team averaging 3,000 people per game. Nobody wants to go to their games. The Coliseum is completely decrepit. But these options are just so bad at this point. I guess the Coliseum still is an option, but the city of Oakland's going to have a say in that. They're not going to want to just extend and give John Fisher 3 free years to play there when he's hurting trying to find a place to play. After he took their team away, there's going to have to be some type of bargaining and some type of compromise when it comes to that. Of course, Oakland's going to want an expansion team. They're going to say, yes, you can play here for 3 years, but give us an expansion team when MLB decides to expand, possibly in 2025 or 2026. But it seems like right now where the Las Vegas A's will be playing from 2025 to 2027, it could be a mixture of Oracle Park and a AAA park either in Sacramento or in Nevada. That's kind of what I'm getting at this point in terms of this situation. So again, the big news today there's actually a few days ago it came out, I just saw it recently. It is going to be a fully domed stadium. It's not going to be retractable. I think that's the right decision. If you go retractable, it's only going to be open twice a year anyways. Again, kind of like Lone Depot Park. And then they are also having a massive window, which is another thing that's not surprising. But if you go back to Allegiant Stadium, you can kind of see what I expect in terms of the setup. With their window, it's right behind one of the end zones. A lot of NFL teams doing that. The big question is the roof going to be translucent? Are they going to possibly up the capacity to 35K? There's been rumors it's only going to be 30K. I would imagine with expandable seating, with standing room, they would push it to at least 35 or 37, but I still think that's too small, especially if they want to host all-star games. What if they make the World Series? I don't know. Maybe this is just what's happening now with these stadiums. They're downsizing so much because they don't want to build a stadium that's too big. Really, the only bigger stadium I've seen recently was the Orlando Dreamers saying they wanted to build a stadium with a capacity of 45K. Everything else, I mean, take a look at the new Tampa Bay Rays. It's around 30K. This stadium's around 30K. Teams are downsizing. Progressive Field got downsized to 34K. Tropicana Field is kind of a mess because they put tarps up, but yeah, everyone is downsizing, it seems, at least a lot of these, smaller market teams. Either way, guys, that is the current situation in regards. I would say probably that first series, in March, whenever they're going to Vegas facing the Brewers in the spring training, maybe they do it as a marketing pitch. Maybe it comes out earlier, but at least we finally have a date in terms of that. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.